Welcome to Top Hill Recording Podcast, the podcast where we ask an artist, a band, a musician to come on, give us 4 original tunes. We sit down, we talk about those tunes, we talk about the artist, where they're going, where they've been, how they got there, and what's next. Tonight, we have a very, very special guest from originally the Chicago area, a little bit north of, made the trek down to Nashville a couple years ago, 2 years ago, coming up, I do believe, and was kind enough to make the trek up to Louisville to give us 4 of her tunes. And we couldn't be happier to have our guest tonight, GELEXAIDA.
You say you like my hair, but not the hair that's down there. You say you have some time, but not the time to spend the night. But you'll stay past midnight. You'll come and kiss goodbye, then drive 1 block over. Your home is closer to me than you tonight. I see it's getting late, and I'll start work before you. I should be ending things, but you're the one who's strict with time. Feels like things have changed when everything's the same, except you slept with me. Is it not what you fantasized? I'm not gonna say I'm the best you'll ever have. Truth is that someday you'll probably meet someone who has better skills than bed, will give you better head. But with my practicing, I'll be the best you'll never have. You know, I'll be the best you'll never have. You know that once I'm better in bed and you're out of my head, you'll be full of regret when you see who loves me now and from my house is making out. You'll wish that they were you instead. You say you like my eyes, that just by looking in mine. You say I'll turn you on, but if I'm not, you won't stay long. Your self-control's not strong. In 10 minutes you're gone. You feel too deprived of my love, sex drive, but you just don't turn me on. I will make you stay, but don't lie and say you just can't think of any way, when you just don't want to try. Your efforts have changed. Was your image of me not like reality? You're not hot enough to whine. I'm not gonna say I'm the best you'll ever have. Truth is that someday you'll probably meet someone who has better skills in bed, will give you better head. When silent past me sex, I'll be the best you'll never have. You know, boys are always better at being brothers and lovers. Part of me regrets letting you see my skin uncovered. I was a great girlfriend and I'd make a better wife. You know, boys, once I'm better in bed, I'll be the best you'll never have. Congrats, you got 1,000,000 followers. What do you do with that newfound power? It's beautiful brains, as they say. No matter how vain, they still get fame. Ironic, my old bully inspired you to stay. Congrats, looks like your life is in order. What did you do to gain those supporters? I bet they don't know the things you'd say, but don't worry, I won't display. I just hope that eventually they see the same. Kind of pissed off that I can't be more proud, and I'm pissed that your ego's fed more now. How is it from all my peers in her hometown? It's you. You don't deserve this at all. I'm sorry to be like this, but you always made me feel small. You're famous, but you're full of shit. I know you won't admit the past proof of it. Congrats, you got all that you asked for. Why can't I get at least just a quarter? Guess I'm not surprised that you made a name. You've always been good at playing games. Just wish somebody else I knew had made that claim. Congrats, looks like your numbers aren't slower. Why do they just keep building up more? I bet they don't know who you became is exactly the same. Wish I could say that in a more positive way. Kinda pissed off cause you thrive off of clout. And I'm pissed that the world would just allow for the internet to blow up you somehow. Why you don't deserve this at all. I'm sorry to feel like this, but you always made me feel small. You're famous, but you're full of shit. I know you won't admit the past is something we'll dismiss, but you know you're a bitch and don't care for others one bit, cause you haven't changed at all. There's evidence for proof of it. Oh no.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Well done.
Fuck yeah, we did it. I'm not who I thought I would be at 18. I caught me no longer chasing my own dreams, afraid of failing, disappointing everyone in my life, but with no meaning. There's empowering freedom to sacrifice. I'll find out who I am, discover all I can be, learn to love myself and die. I'll walk away from friends who don't believe I can be everything I said to find. A year is all I need. I'll be brand new by 19. I'm not who I thought I would be at 13. The growth I've had was routine from daydream. Oh, I'm living daily, days I barely believed I would come by. I'll find out who I am, discover all I can be, learn to love myself and die. always change what I believed. The things I would think, the things I said I'd never do, would probably be in disbelief if I spoke of the things I've tried and now I cannot do. Although there's lots of good I achieved, secrets occurring in private that they never knew. Sorry to all those that I deceived, not my upbringing. I was taught to have a different view. Hide, fight my mind, but I got exhausted, I'm tired, been getting my whole life, misbehavior all the time, never cussed, never spoke, never tried. Hide, fight my mind, but I got tempted, won't lie, been scared of them my whole life, got addiction on both sides, never drank, never blinked, never mind. No trauma on me, changed who I would be. I'm not disappointed, just confused. The mindset that I had on repeat, hard to admit defeat, hard to say older me excuse. It's not that I no longer agree, it's just now that I see why others thought the way they do. I'm more open to less of extremes, somewhere in between, that allows mistakes to be made too. Hide, fight my mind, but I got exhausted, I'm tired, been getting my whole life, misbehavior all the time, never cussed, never spoke, never tried. Hide, fight my mind, cause I got tempted, won't lie, been scared of them my whole life, got an addiction on both sides, never drank, never blinked, never mind. Told you if ever tried, please take it as a sign that something isn't right, but maybe now that's a lie. Once told you if ever tried, please take it as a sign that something isn't right, but maybe now that's a lie. Yay! Yay!
Did I say it right? That was that.
Yeah, you got it.
I was so worried.
You practiced and you got it right.
I did. I practiced.
I'm proud of
Definitely helped.
I'm so proud.
and the beautiful frenetic thing. And I got it wrong the first, just when I asked. So
it's okay. I wrote it to make it look pretty, not necessarily thinking about how it's pronounced.
Well,
so
it worked out because it is cool. It definitely grabs your eye.
Yeah.
So thank you for making the trip. Number one, it's you came in, you had Spencer here with you tonight, and you guys. Kind of to inside baseball to anybody that just watched those, had 2 rehearsals together.
Yep, this weekend.
Which is crazy. You had somebody else and this stuff came up. So Spencer stepped up and 2 rehearsals later, you all came in, knocked that out like you all been playing together forever.
Yeah, he literally, I feel like I can breathe now. Like I was so scared. I was panicking for a good 24 hours before he reached back out to me. In a Buc-ee's. And I was like, thank you.
Buc-ee's.
Bless. Thank God I live in Nashville. If I lived in Chicago, I would have been screwed.
Yeah, you would have been playing guitar tonight.
Yeah.
Singing, probably.
Which wouldn't have been that good.
It would have been fine, I'm sure. But yeah, for you to kind of go through that little bit of a whirlwind the last week, unbeknownst to us, and come in and absolutely nail it, have great tunes, great vocals. The vocals, to be able to do what you do is very, very cool because your low register and singing quietly sounds so good. And then you're able to flip the script and really kind of just go get it.
Thank you.
And the transition of that and the falsetto stuff you do, I mean, everything works so well together. It is an instrument on its own thing. So, to have Spencer come in on top of what you're already doing, it was a really, really cool acoustic performance.
Thank you so much.
And I think you mentioned you haven't done a lot of acoustic performances,
I've only done one other acoustic show, and it was in November of 2022. That's the only other time I've done it.
It's been that long.
And so I've only done one other, and it's been a long time. So.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't tell. You guys really looked like a duo that have been doing it for a little bit.
It's one of the reasons why I wanted to do it again, though, is because the first time I did it, I remember once we had the arrangements for the songs and we had played it all the way through, I felt like I fell in love with my music all over again. I was like, okay, yeah, I like it. Because I'm not I feel like I'm still trying to figure out the production part of all of my songs. I don't hate them, but I'm not like obsessed with them, you know?
Yeah.
And so doing it acoustically, it feels like I have the little structure if I can just figure out that other part.
Well,
So,
it's cool that you have that. You might not see it this way, but I think it's cool that you kind of have the mindset that you're not stuck on something that you've already done, because it doesn't allow you to just like be finished, or allow it to breathe or do other
like
things.
grow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
grow, because like your first song you did, "Night Better in Bed," was one, your last release, and it's a different song when it's an acoustic song, but it was awesome. It was interesting because you really have to pay attention, lean in, hear that thing, hear the vocals. It really kind of trains you to hear the lyrics more, and it really worked well in this setting.
Yeah. I remember, I think I was 13 or 14, but my sister was obsessed with not Adam Levine, Adam Lambert.
Okay.
And I remember walking into her room while she was listening to his music, and she pulled up one of his acoustic sets, and it sounded totally different than the production recordings that he had released on Spotify and stuff. And I remember she was talking about what she thinks makes a good acoustic song, and how she liked how when it doesn't feel like the exact same song. And so I've kind of always taken that with me. And I feel like it has influenced how, like Spencer, when we were trying to work out the arrangements, he was like, I don't know exactly how you want this. And I'm like, trust me, I don't either. Let's mess around, see what sounds good, play around, see what you like, what feels comfortable for you.
Yeah,
I honestly don't care that much.
That's a bit of a dream situation for a guy like Spencer, I'm sure, coming in going, look, he's not necessarily like a guy that is not going to be able to be in a jam band or do those things, but it seems like if you give it the little bit of direction, you also a little bit of leeway to figure it out, that it's going to create some cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I imagine like that's going to be something that you encounter in Nashville quite a bit when you're running into different people. So
I'm very happy with all of it.
Well, since, before we even get to that part, you definitely have to, as a first timer, kind of take us back a little bit and tell us what it was about music. When did you know that it was a thing that you were into and something that you were going to be pursuing?
Yeah. I mean, I've been singing my whole life. I mean, that's the most basic answer. I've always been singing, always dancing in my room, but it's true. I think I first started taking voice lessons when I was 5 or so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was really young. And I think what happened, this story could be completely false, but my memory, this is how it went down. We were driving home from a Christmas event or something, and we were listening to the radio, and there was a commercial that went on. And they're like, I'm a music teacher. Come to my classes. And my mom was like, do you want to do that? And I said, yes. And then we did, which that could be fake. I don't know. I've never fact checked with her, but I think that's
You're
what
going to
happened.
know after this podcast.
I should double check with her. I should be like, Mom, do you remember this? Is that actually how it went down? But no. So growing up, I always was in choir, school choir, church choir. I did theater. In high school, I was in the show choir thing. And I think, I just always knew that I loved the singing part. I never really thought about becoming a musician until I was about 13, though, because I struggle. I still do. It used to be a lot worse, but I struggle really badly with stage fright. And I could, like the first time I did a theater, I refused to audition. I was like, I want to be a part of this. I just don't want to audition. I don't want to actually stand in front of you alone. And the director was like, okay. And she just put me in the ensemble, and we're like, okay, cool. But when I was 13, I did, for school, we had a poetry unit, and I started writing like a ton of poetry, and I was obsessed with writing poetry. And my 13-year-old brain was like, oh my God, wait, this is basically a song, but without the music. Which, like, obviously, but at the time, it was like the biggest epiphany of my 13-year-old mind. And I was like, wow, if I could just figure out how to write and do melodies, like, I could do this as a career or something. And then I tried writing, and then I could not figure out how to make melodies or any of that. And then I was like, okay, maybe I'll just hire ghostwriters or something, because I do want to be a singer. But anyways, that's kind of how it started. I feel like there's a lot of details. I don't know if I want to ramble or not.
Well, it's wild because, you've been associated with music, not only music, but music and stage.
Yeah.
For as long as you can remember, it seems like. And, the first thing that we kind of talked about before cameras were rolling, all that was your stage fright. And, that's got to be something that is hard to battle, especially for somebody that has a desire to write, has a desire to perform, has a desire, I guess, to be on stage and then get like crippled by that.
Yeah.
I mean, how is, because, I don't really have that issue. I don't have a problem if I'm going to have to play music or do those things to do that. But, so I couldn't imagine the correlation of how hard it would really be to take that step on stage in that situation. Like, when did you know that was it from that audition? Was it before that audition that you knew that like this was a thing that was going to be an issue?
Yeah, pretty much, because I tried so many times, and I've always kind of referred to it like it feels like rejection therapy, because like I keep forcing myself to do it to kind of like desensitize myself from the anxiety I have from it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's helped a lot, because I know like my first attempts was when I was taking voice lessons for the first time, and I would take them with my sister. And my music teacher always tried to get me to sing solo songs. And I would learn them, I would practice them. She would even help me learn cute little dances with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then she would put them on the list for the showcase that we would have. And I would cry and I'd say, I can't do it. This is not happening. Take it off the list. Nope. And so I started off just having to, I would just sing next to my sister, and she would have a mic, because I don't remember if they didn't have an extra mic or if I just could not bear the idea of having a mic in front of me. I don't know. I was also 7, so it could have been that too.
All right. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties.
Oh.
So, as a kid, we were talking about stage fright, and it's wild for me to put together, legit being brave enough to go on stage. You got your sister singing when you're young, but you still are in music theater and show choir and all these things. I understand the choir, because choir seems like it's a team of people.
Yeah,
it's a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But, is there points in that time where you're doing anything solo on stage in front of school or anything like that?
I think the first time I had enough courage to actually do something solo was in my school choir, either 4th or 5th grade. I'm not exactly sure, but that's when I actually started allowing myself to audition and actually put in that effort. Because the problem is I always loved it and I enjoyed it so much. And every time I was on stage with everyone else, I always wanted to be doing something more. And so it sucked, because I was like, I want to be doing that, but it's my fault because I'm not trying.
Yeah.
And so my first little solo thing was just a little, probably 16 count of a
Just
little
something.
line.
But
for
it's
a song.
something. It broke the mold.
And you had people behind you, and
I think what helped me with that was you had the choir director in front of you. So I don't have to worry about the audience. I just look at my director and she's, counting for me and, looking at me and helping me and mouthing the words if I need that help. So there's that. The first time I really did something like an actual bigger role was when I was like 12. And I remember it was such a big deal because I had been forcing myself to audition and actually put in that effort. But, when I first started, I would do the auditions, but it wasn't my best ability because I was still scared. But at least I was auditioning now, But I auditioned for Beauty and the Beast at my local park district's theater production stuff. And I'd been working with them for a few years at that point, and I auditioned for Belle, and I finally got it. And what was cool about that was I did the show, and I remember my director, his name was Mr. Mark. Shout out. I love him. I don't know where he is anymore, but he helped me so much. But I remember him coming up to me after the opening night and being like, that's what I've been waiting for you to do. He was like, I knew you had it in you. You finally did it. And he was like so proud of me. And I was like, oh my God, I did a whole show. I was the lead. Oh my God.
So during that stretch of running that show, what was the anxiety levels going like right before curtains? I mean, are you freaking out? Are you freaking out at the beginning? I'm sure once you're in, you're just in the groove. You're knowing you're doing the thing. When curtain drops, it's over. The first, and you get that. Does that alleviate any of that anxiety or stage fright for the next performance?
Yeah, it feels like I can relax for a second because the whole time it feels like I'm being choked, basically. It's like I'm literally being suffocated, and I'm like, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. Don't make eye contact with people. Don't overthink. Just happen, exist. And so when it is over, it not only does that go away, but I'm really happy because I'm like, it's what I love doing. I genuinely enjoy it so much, and I think it's so fun to do. And so all right,
so next performance.
Yeah.
Does it ramp back up? Are you at the same level? Does it come down to do you notice like every time you step on the stage, it gets a little bit easier? How does it continue to play out like it's just a thing that you battle?
I feel like it kind of depends on what the performance is, and a lot of different things. Like when I was doing the theater shows, it did help a lot because it was pretty much back to back, and there was only 2 nights of performing. And so the second night, it's like, yay, now we go to Culver's and we're done. But like some of the things I've done in high school, and especially with things I've been doing with my own original music, like my own original music has been hard because I've only done, I think, a total of like less than 5 live shows with my actual original stuff. And there's such big gaps between them currently, at least. And so it does like skyrocket. Like I've known about this podcast for months, right? And I have had to force myself not to think about it so I don't like freak myself out. Cause it will get to the point where like I will psych myself out on things and I'll be like, I have to cancel. I have to come up with an excuse. I can't do the show. I can't do this. I'm going to cry. I'm going to hurl. I thankfully haven't actually hurled, but I will like, before I go on stage, I'll have like a throw it bag with me sometimes if it's
a just
really
in case
bad.
bag.
Yeah.
Break in case of.
So, yeah.
So that's, man, that's tough. That's like, it really is. I couldn't imagine having that. I wonder if it's, number one, original music is so personal. You know, you going back
It's
to writing,
vulnerable.
super vulnerable.
Anyways,
Even
yeah.
writing poems when you're 13 years old, those things are vulnerable, personal. They're everything that you don't want people to see or to share, and all those things. But you find that there's something in you that you got to do it. So I wonder if you were doing it more often instead of having these gaps, and part of those gaps are probably due to the same, like you said, not wanting to do it, but getting yourself out of doing it and those things. I've been guilty of doing that myself.
Get in a rhythm for sure.
Yeah.
It's hard, especially, you know, like I don't have like a team behind me for any of this. Everything I do, like booking things like this, I'm reaching out to the people, you know, trying to record music. I'm having to, right now I'm producing all of my own stuff. I don't have a producer, you know, like I'm having to do like every little thing right now. And so part of what gets hard is I'm learning as I go. I don't have like previous knowledge on what I'm supposed to do or who I can reach out to or how to find different opportunities. Like this I found from a girl that I was following on Instagram, and she had done a performance with you guys. And I was like, oh, this looks like a thing I would love to do. It looks very professionally done. I love how you guys put it all together. And being here, I love the way it's set up. I feel very comfortable.
Sweet.
Helps with the stage fright thing.
Good.
But like part of it will come with like things cost money. It costs money to get here, you know? I have to pay for gas. I had to pay for the guitarist, you know? I'm broke. I'm so broke. Right now I'm unemployed. So I'm struggling to like get every little penny that I have. And so it is hard because I do want to be in a more consistent routine and rhythm. And I know confidently that if this was something, like if I had a show every week, I would love to find a consistent gig out on like, not necessarily Broadway, but somewhere in Nashville at like a restaurant or something, just to force myself and get paid to do it.
Stay practice,
you know?
get paid, do those things.
I would love to do that, but you know, I don't necessarily always know who to reach out to, or if I do reach out, then I'm not always accepted. Like I've submitted to perform at a bunch of festivals, and I've only been accepted to perform at one. You know, so it's just hard.
That type of those festivals, and even the smaller festivals, it's like you really have to have an in, or know, or be huge. Like it's tough.
Be like established in some way. Shape
and you know, you can have a ton of songs and all that stuff, which I think you got 11 or so, a couple EPs and some singles released, and a couple videos, which we'll get to. But you know, I think if you were playing a lot and find one of those gigs where you're doing that and you're getting, it'll make it so much smoother of a transition for you to do it. Be able to
I have it on
thing.
like my list of goals for this like upcoming year. I guess like school year. I'm not in school, but I guess like this upcoming like school year, transitioning into the fall to try and do more like open mic nights.
Yeah.
You know, just to like, no one's there for me. No one cares about me. If I catch someone's attention, cool. But if not, you know, it doesn't matter. I don't really have to worry about being perceived too much there. I feel like that will help me. I did that a bit more when I first moved to Nashville. So I have a list of different places I can try to go to.
There's got to be some amazing open mic nights. Yeah.
A lot of the issues I was having when I first came was like scheduling it. Somehow it was always like on a day or a night where I was working or busy and like couldn't go. So I would just put it on my calendar for like the next month and be like, okay, don't keep this day open because this is the only day they're doing it. But
there's a really, really good singer-songwriter open mic night circuit in Louisville that is like one of the most supportive groups of people. We've had more people in this podcast that have come from that group. As a matter of fact, Earl, who usually is co-hosting with me, started because of that singer-songwriter night. He got encouragement by some other people to come back and keep doing it and do some more songs. But I swear about every third person we have in here, they're like, yeah, I started at a singer-songwriter open mic night here and meet their band there. It's wild.
Yeah.
So I would definitely encourage you to do that because those things tend to be a bunch of people that are hungry to play music and meet people.
Yeah.
And yeah, I could see that going really, really well for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also I joined like a Facebook group too for like local musicians in Nashville. And I'm not, Facebook is like the one I check the least, but I try to force myself to check it at least once a week, see what people have posted, see if anyone needs like a backup singer or just like someone to feature on their song or like anything like that. But it's usually a lot of like guitarists, which is good for me.
Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that.
I'm like, great, I can keep you in mind. But I actively check those little pages as well.
Oh, yeah. So when originally from just north side of Chicago, just north, not north side.
Not north side.
Not north side, just north.
You have to always be so specific with your words.
Yeah,
when it comes to
north
that area.
side. You could. I got nothing but Cubs hats behind that thing. So
no, I have to specify. I'm sorry, that's not what I meant.
So a couple years ago, you made a huge move from north side, North Chicago, north of
like an hour north.
Like an hour
really
north.
up there.
So, I mean, that's a big move to go down. What was the decision making? What was the process with that for you? What spurred that big life changing move?
I loved it because I took a trip with my dad, like my senior year of high school, just a weekend trip. We're both pilots, so it was very quick. We just flew down there and then flew back. Yeah.
Awesome.
Fun little fact.
That is awesome.
But we flew down to Nashville for a weekend. It was like a little present for me, like a little daddy-daughter gift. And I remember, since we're both pilots, we travel a lot, you know? But it was the first time we traveled someplace where I was like, I could see myself living here. Like, not just a cool place to visit, but like, this feels like very homey. This feels like it's my place. Like, I should be here right now. And so that was back in 2018. Yeah, 2018. And so it was just an idea and a dream, a plan to do at some point in my head. But obviously moving is a hassle. It costs money. You have to get accepted for apartments and stuff, and it's a whole ordeal. So a few years went by, and then in 2022, the very beginning of the year during tax season, my dad looked at his taxes and he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then he looked at me and he was like, do you want to move to Nashville with me? And I was like, yes.
Oh, really?
Yes, I do.
No kidding.
And so we kind of started working out the logistics together and kind of a plan for rent, you know, because I pay him rent and everything. And we took a couple of trips to tour different apartments, and then we just made the leap. Like, I think it was less than 6 months.
Really?
From the time he was like, do you want to do this? And I was like, yes. Because it was a dream for him too, you know?
Okay.
He's been wanting to do it longer than me. Since 2013, he said. So it just kind of worked out that we both had this dream for different reasons. We had our own reasons, you know? A big reason for me was, you know, the music scene. I liked the weather and the scenery, you know? I liked that I don't have to like pay, state income tax when I'm working at a job. That's great. And so it just kind of all came together at the perfect time, I think. And the move was really easy, honestly. Like, we just packed up a car. We both don't have a lot of things. Like,
Make it easy.
I made a TikTok about it when I moved because I had like a duffel bag and then a bunch of random miscellaneous things. For the first year in the apartment, we did not have a couch. We had a blue swingy chair. Like, it was a swing set chair thing, and we used that was the couch, and my bed was on the floor because I didn't have a bed frame. It was so crappy, but I also didn't care.
Who
I was like,
cared?
I'm in Nashville.
Where you wanted to be.
Like, nothing matters. I'm in the city that I've been dreaming of. So
Isn't that wild, man? Isn't that wild that your dad had the same dream?
it's honestly so lucky of me because I'd been trying to plan what a move would look like. And I was waiting for my one friend, Jamie, to graduate college because our plan was possibly moving together. She lives out in St. Louis. And she still hasn't graduated yet.
Good thing you didn't wait too long.
Actually, no, I think she just graduated. I lied.
Congratulations,
it's
Jamie.
the summer. She just graduated. So I wouldn't have moved until like maybe this month, you know? And I feel like I've done so much in the past 2 years being in Nashville.
Yeah. I mean, it's everything's going on there all at the same time.
Yeah.
There's music everywhere. There's amazing food. I mean, it's always happening. It really is. And it's a big town, small town type of deal, which these days it's getting bigger, but it's spread out.
Right.
So it's a great, great city. I would have to say, you got to play more. You definitely do. You've got too much talent just to allow it to not be heard. You know,
Thanks.
vocally, like I said, it's just, you don't get a lot of people that have the ability to sing quiet, the falsetto, get loud, do all those things and do it well. Which you can really tell that you can tell without knowing that you're trained. You're like a professional and really, really pay attention to the notes and you pay attention to your melody lines. And, there's a lot of cool stuff you do in there with like your quick vocalization of your lyrics and things like that really, for you to be there a couple years, I think you and Spencer, hopefully he's on board and you guys can do some things. Cause I really think you all got something really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's awesome. So what I think the last release you said was what, February 23?
Yeah.
All right, so what do we got going on?
So I took a little break after I released that for like personal reasons. There was kind of a lot of stuff going on. I was trying to kind of sort out my personal life out there.
You weren't fresh off a move to Nashville either, so you were already doing a lot of stuff going on into that mix.
I feel like 2023 kind of was like a little bit of a hiatus year. After I had promoted it, after I did that for a little bit, I took a little bit of a hiatus. And it's only been this year that I kind of started getting back into things, like trying to be consistent on social media. So right now, the big thing I'm working on is trying to I have a few songs that I've been writing and trying to like hone down. They're coming close. Some of them just need like little baby finishing touches with like either some of the lyrics I'm like, it's not quite there yet, or some of the melody lines I'm like, this is boring. And then once I have those songs freshed out, I have producers I'm trying to like work on. So I have one producer named Asia that I might work with. But she does a lot more like indie EDM stuff. And I'm kind of interested in doing more like R&B and rock influenced music. So I don't know. I'm just kind of trying to, the production's been the biggest thing for me right now. Trying to find like I could produce myself. Obviously, I've been doing that the last couple times, but it just isn't to the quality that I want it. And I really want my next single or EP or whatever I release next. Like, I want to be like proud of that part.
Proud of the production part as much as the songs themselves.
Yeah, because I feel like that's the one thing about all the songs that I've released so far that I'm just not entirely happy with yet. And I really would like to feel like the relief that Spencer gave me with the guitar part of this. I would like to feel that with the rest of my music. You know?
Well, you talked a little bit about like the responsibility of booking yourself and doing those other things like this. And when you have to do all of that, then you write the songs, and then you have the production part that falls on you. And you're like you said, you learn as you go, which blows my mind because it's not an easy task to take on at all.
No.
So like there's a lot on your shoulders when it comes to, I would imagine it feels heavy knowing, all right, I got this song. Now I've got to make it all happen because it is relying on you.
Yeah.
Is any of that part of it where it's like, yeah, I've got it, but it's such a daunting task because I got to do it from the start all by myself?
I mean, especially because production isn't like, I wouldn't call myself like a producer, like it's one of those things where it's like, I'll do it if I have to, but
if you produced, you're a producer. That's all I know.
I guess. But like, it doesn't really, like when you ask like, oh, well, you didn't ask, but if you were to, like what I feel like my skill set is when it comes to producing stuff, I'd be like, I feel like a beginner.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm a beginner. And like producing's fun, but it's something that like I want to be able to do just because I'm bored, or I'm like, I want to mess around with it, not because like, if I don't produce, I won't have this song.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what the last things that I've produced, it's just been me sitting in my room, clicking a bunch of loops and being like, yeah, I like that one. Yeah, I guess that one works with it, kind of. Sure. But I don't know if it actually does. And so it would be nice to just be able to have someone to go to and be like, here's what I've written. Here's the lyrics. Here's the melody. Here's the inspiration I have for it. Here's like some of the inspo tracks I've been listening to for production and vocal wise. Can you make it sound pretty? Can you make it sound good?
It's like a totally different energy.
Yeah.
The creation part's the one thing, and the production side, it's a totally different like thing,
Yeah.
So to be able to separate that and do them both is kudos, number one. But I'm sure it is daunting on all levels when it comes to writing a new one or figuring it out.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, on a lot of independent artists like yourself, everything's on you,
Yeah.
So it's just like, holy crap, when can I catch a helping hand?
Exactly. And I think also too, like my first EP that I released, I worked with another producer on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the process of being able to write a song, with the influence of someone else's vision and dreams, like, I just think it's so cool. And I feel like is so beneficial, to writing it. It's one of I do this, like, I guess the best examples I have, I don't really have examples with producing yet, because I haven't really done a lot for it. But like whenever I do photo shoots or like music videos a little less, but photo shoots, I'll come up to the photographer and I'll be like, look, here's the basic vision I have in mind. I know that photography is your skill set though, and I trust your vision. Like I trust that like I can give you a little bit of like my idea, but that if I give you like freedom, that you can run with it.
Yeah.
And they always get excited. They're like, yes, please. Because they'll be like, some people are so picky. Some people are so like, no, it has to be exactly like this. And I'm like, look, I don't really care that much. I mean, I do care.
Yeah.
I'll let you know if there's a photo where I'm like, I hate that. Like, I'm not afraid to let you know that I hate something. But I'm also not I know that where my skill sets lie.
Mm-hmm.
I know where to let other people reign.
Yeah.
Take it.
But and it goes with like that can go with the producer, it can go with the photographer, it can go with the videographer, it can go with if you have a trust level like that those relationships tend to work out really, really well. Especially like photographers, producers. if you could team up with somebody that you trust with your original music and that gives you not even like suggestions or anything, but hears it in a way that you hear it and allows it to breathe in ways that you allow it to breathe. I mean, those relationships are pretty huge. So I'm hoping that like, you get that so it can just take it off your hands, give you a little bit of like,
I feel
relax.
like it really would be like such a relief.
Yeah. I mean, it would be like this weekend working with Spencer and,
Exactly.
finding that thing. So, well, I am super excited to like follow where you go, see these next set of songs that come out.
Thank you.
You've got a couple videos. What are the videos? What songs?
I have it for Better in Bed and Nevermind.
Okay, Better in Bed and Nevermind. And so what about those concepts? When you took those on, was that more of like, I've got this vision for this. This is what I really, really want to do?
Yes. I feel like Nevermind, I had less of an idea. Because I'd never filmed a music video before. That was my first one. And same thing where it's like, I feel like I have to perform a little bit. So I didn't want something too complicated. And I also am paying for it myself. So I'm like, I also don't want something too expensive. So I kind of went to him with like a rough little idea of what I was looking for. Actually, I was supposed to have a coworker or like a co-star in that show, and he got COVID. So the day came and we're like, well, now we have to switch some things because there was supposed to be a whole storyline to that. And there really wasn't at the end, but I'm okay with it because it allowed me a chance to kind of try and relax. Better in Bed, I had more of a vision in mind. It did not happen. I was very upset. That's a whole other story. I could like go on a whole ramble about that thing. But yeah, with that I had wrote like I forgot what it's called. Like a little
like a script?
Kind of like a script, but like
storyboard?
Yeah, a storyboard. There is another name that I'm thinking of. I don't remember it because I remember it sounded weird to me. I was like, that's weird. That's what you call that? Interesting. But anyways, I had wrote a storyboard. Let's go with that. I wrote like a storyboard thing. And I had presented it to the director that I picked.
I'm so sorry about that thing.
It does it so slowly. It's very gentle.
Maybe I can help.
I always notice it when it's like close to my leg. And I'm like,
Come on, work with me. All right, let's see if that works.
Hello. But yeah, I presented him with like my vision, my storyboard, and like the ideas I had for casting for it. And it didn't happen, but yes, I did present something.
Was it just a time thing or what was it? Did just no, that's not a good idea? How'd that work out?
It wasn't even, it was just like immediate. The best way I can describe like how bad it was is I was 21 when I recorded the video. I was 21. And I had told the director, I was like, I'm not comfortable. I want 2 different co-stars for this. One that represents like my ex-boyfriend, bad, no. And one that represents the hopefully next new dream person, you know? And I was like, I don't feel comfortable working with anyone over the age of 25 or like they have to be between 20 and 25, you know? Here's like an idea of what like I envision them looking like, but that was not necessarily a big deal. The day before the shoot, he texted me and he was like, all right, here's the people that I picked out. And I was like, okay. And my first thought was that they look nothing, like not even close to what I had given. But I was like, you know what? That part doesn't really bother me that much. And then the next morning, we meet up.
Kimberly.
Oh my gosh. You're good. The next morning we met up. We all met at the location for the shoot. And I didn't really think about it. Because I had very strictly been like, I don't feel comfortable with this. Like, they need to be in my age group, especially because of the kind of filming we're doing. You know, they're supposed to be like love interests and stuff. I was like, I very much need them to be like my age. So I just assumed that he did pick people my age. I just assumed, you know?
How bad?
Because I was like, why would you not? You know?
Especially if it was specified.
I feel like that's a boundary thing.
Yeah.
I made it very clear. It's in text. I sent it a couple times to make sure. And then, you know, they show up and I'm like, they look older than they do in the photos that were sent to me.
Those photos were from 23 years ago.
But, you know, they're probably my age. And then it was at the end of the day, I had brought my friend Lanthy with to help like film behind the scenes and just for comfortability reasons. And she texted me and she was like, do you know how old they are? And I was like, nope. She's like, the one guy's 32, the other guy's 40. I was like,
hey, super close to 20 to 25.
so close.
Oh, fun.
I asked him to cut out the 40-year-old. I was like, we can't redo this whole thing, but at least get the 40-year-old out of the video. And he's like, well, then the storyline won't make sense. And I was like, I don't care anymore. I was like, you didn't even do the storyline I wanted. It's not even the music video that I had in mind. Get the 40-year-old out of this shoot.
Cut. He's on the editing room floor somewhere, that guy.
Oh my God. And then I learned a very important lesson with that music video as well. Do not tell them what your budget is.
Tell
them what your vision is and ask them how much it would cost.
There you go.
Because I was like, my budget is no more than $5,000. And he was like, cool.
It's $5,000.
It's going to be $5,000 then.
It's going to be $5,000.
We did the whole shoot. And I also asked him for like an itemized receipt in a way. I was like, so how is this reaching up to 5,000? Because this shoot, what we did, everything involved with it did not. Everyone's telling me that should not have been 5,000. Everyone I'm talking to is telling me I was completely robbed of my money.
That sucks.
And yeah. And so the itemized receipt was clearly not it. But I did not want to fight him, and I was so tired, and I just didn't want to talk anymore to this person. So I just gave him the money. I was like, I'm not gonna keep pushing. Take my 5,000. Let's go our separate ways.
Yeah, $5,000 to never talk to me again.
Goodbye. We're done.
Easiest money ever spent.
Yeah.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to the next set of music, next set of videos. We're excited. I'm definitely excited about it. For all our listeners and people watching that want to check you out, want to find your music, and want to see your bear over there at Separate. But you got to explain the bear first.
I wanted to bring my girlfriend today with me, but she couldn't come. So I brought my bear that she gave me when she got out of AT training for the military. She's home. She's not at military training right now. But this is my emotional support bear when I want to bring her, but I can't actually bring her. So.
Perfect. Worked out perfect. Awesome. All right. So for all our listeners, where can they find you?
They can find me pretty much anywhere. Spotify, Apple Music for my music and stuff. And then I post pretty consistently on TikTok. I try to post every day. And then Instagram, YouTube. Those are my main places. And follow me on Twitter for updates.
You might want to spell the name.
Yeah. GELEXAIDA. It's GELEXAIDA.
There you go. And you're not going to find another one. There's one.
There's only me.
Only
me.
you, which is very unique in these days and times. So congratulations on that. It's
Thank you.
excellent. Well, it's been a blast. I really, really appreciate you coming.
Thank you so much.
And we'll have to, get some music out. We'll do it again.
Definitely. I appreciate it.
Sweet. Well, until next time.